Does it feel like no matter how hard you clean, the housework is never finished? Pet peeve of mine, always feeling like I have something to do, like I was talking about this earlier, and I said, when I feel like I have something to do, it feels like there is a 1,000-pound elephant on my back, and it feels like I can never relax. So, and as women, I feel like the housework is never finished. Like there is an expectation in life and society. It's just how we've kind of grown up. And there's a little bit of truth to that, that technically the work never is done. But the problem is when we feel like the work is never done, then we feel like we can never truly relax and rest. And we feel like we're constantly being pushed. It's overwhelming, it's exhausting, and honestly, it's unsustainable. But it doesn't have to be that way. So, we are going to talk about how to make it so that the feeling of the housework's never done. I'm going to share with you my maintain in minutes framework, and we are going to get to the point where we do not feel like unfinished work is driving us all the time. In case we're meeting for the very first time, my name is April Bragg, and on this channel, I help women create homes that take care of themselves. And then when that's done, we move on to creating businesses that take care of us instead of taking up all of our time. So we get to the point where we feel like we can just stop cleaning, spend less time cleaning, and more time enjoying life. And so today I wanted to dive into why it feels like the housework is never done. And I'm going to share the framework that I teach to break that cycle for good. The framework is called Maintain in Minutes. It's designed to help you simplify your life, reclaim your time back, and then give back to you the energy that you feel like you've been pouring into endless rounds of housework or any kind of work. It might not just be housework, it might be somewhere else. Because this framework is based upon three principles, then it is adaptable to other areas of life. But as you're listening to this live, what I recommend you doing, because I don't want to throw too much at you, but I do want to give you the whole picture. So to keep yourself from being overwhelmed, what I recommend is this: listen for your own personal aha moment. The one thing that you needed to hear that will help you today. When you hear that, drop it in the chat. Just say aha, and then I'll understand that's my aha moment. When you do that, you're doing two things. You're helping yourself, but you're also helping others. So whether catching this live or you're watching the replay, let me encourage you to listen for your personal aha moment. Something that you can take away, something that you can implement today, something that helps you see things differently. Listen for the one thing. Put it in the chat, and then we can all revisit the chat and see, hey, that will become this little reminder for all of us, okay? So, ready? Before we get into the solution, let's talk about the problem that we're having. So here's why your housework feels like it's running your time. Number one, you're probably managing too much. Does that resonate with anyone? I just went to a Bible study yesterday, and walking in, I could hear more than one woman at a time saying, whew, I've just got so much to do. It's just like, but I'm just glad to be here. Whew, I've just got so much to do. I'm like, oh my goodness, we've got a theme going on here. Number two. So number one is we're managing too much. We as women do have this because we're such nurturers at heart, and because we are such great managers of things, and because we can juggle things and we can think about multiple things at once, we tend to take on multiple things at once. And it slows us down when we're trying to multitask. But number two, it's taking too long because the tasks keep expanding or perfectionism is creeping in. So that is why the housework feels like it's never done, is because in a way, the tasks do expand, and in a way, it really never is done. I mean, you're never there's always the next dinner to plan. There's always the next load of laundry coming up. it, this is why the maintenance is never done. So we're going to have to create a way to make it feel like it's done so that we can relax. And then three, another problem is that the small messes turn into the overwhelming chaos because it truly is hard to stay consistent. Uh, we sometimes get trapped into this, all or nothing. Like we think, we go on this marathon cleaning uh, strike, streak. That's the word I was looking for. We go on this marathon cleaning streak, and then we're exhausted, and then we stop, and then it piles up again, and then we do another marathon cleaning streak. So it's like this boom or bust cycle. These are all reasons why the housework feels like it's never ending. But here's the truth. We are not going to get to it by working harder. It is all about working smarter. So, this is the Maintain in Minutes framework. It's built on three simple principles that will tackle these exact problems, the problems of managing too much, taking too long, and then it building up until it's overwhelming. When you put these three principles into practice, then you'll feel like your home almost takes care of itself and it'll just take minutes a day instead of hours long projects. So, let me teach you the three principles. Number one, simplify by thinking eliminate, automate, or delegate. So we're overwhelmed because we're trying to do too many things. And some of those things do not even need to be done at all. So when we simplify, we drastically reduce what we have to manage. This is why I say that decluttering is the 20% task that gives us 80% of the results of a home that takes care of itself. If we don't even have the item, we don't have to take care of it. If we get rid of the task, then we don't have to take care of it. This is also, by the way, I want to say this with so much compassion and understanding. Sometimes we are not prepared for the amount of work that we're inviting into our life. For example, the the amount of work that adopting a new puppy is. We need to make sure that we are mentally prepared for something like that before we take it on. I say that having a kid is easier than having multiple puppies, having a puppy, because there's a point where the child, learns how to take care of themselves. But dogs, if you live in an apartment, a dog always needs to be taken on a walk, So be aware that sometimes our yes, the yes that we're saying to, when it's really nice and exciting, we don't actually comprehend the amount of commitment that it's going to take on the backside. So I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day, and she's got a couple of dogs, and she asked if I had pets, and we have. I mean, for most of our life, we've had a dog, but recently we haven't had one, and I am shocked at the difference in the amount of time. You just don't realize how much it takes. Well, I mean, you probably do, but I didn't realize the difference, and it really made the question like, do I want to take on that additional commitment? Even though they're adorable and they add so much to our lives, it also makes things like traveling a little bit different. You have to plan so much further ahead and things like that. So, this is where everybody just gets to decide for themselves what is the right answer for them for this season of life. So, when you're overwhelmed, y- imagine that think about this, you're taking on too much, and some of these tasks don't even need to be done. There's another one. This is a one is that could have been eliminated and was eliminated. Balancing our checkbooks. This is something that was very, very important back in the day. And now that we have access to apps on our phone that show us exactly what's spent, I stopped balancing my checkbook. I just made it a habit to look at my banking app and make sure that all those charges were valid. And it's so funny when I look back on balancing my checkbook out of all of those years of spending all that time. Well, let me tell the story of a client where she said, I feel like it's very, very important to balance the checkbook. I said, "Tell me why." And she said, "Because the bank makes mistakes." I said, "Oh, okay, yes. Yeah." So I said, "How much time does it take you to balance your checkbook?" And she said, 2 to 3 hours a month. I said, "Okay." And I said, "How many mistakes have you caught?" And she paused and she said, "Oh my goodness. In like 15 years of balancing my checkbook, I've only found one mistake." I said, "How much did that mistake cost?" And she says, "The bank had charges $5 too much." And I'm like, "Oh, wow." 2 to 3 hours a month times 12 months is, let's say, 50 hours a year times 15 years. Now we're getting into really hard math. Is that 750 hours? And she found one mistake that cost $5. She's not getting paid very well for her time. So that is something that we want to question. Do we want to keep on giving so much of our valuable time to an activity that can save us this much money? So when you're overwhelmed, what can I eliminate? What can I automate? What can I delegate? Automation is fun. Online bill pay, I love that. But what it does is when we eliminate the unnecessary work and when we automate and when we delegate to other people, then we are freeing up our time and we're freeing up our mental energy. The less that you have to manage, the easier it is to maintain. The less you have to manage, the easier it is to maintain. So I like to ask myself the question, what if everything could be either eliminated, automated, or delegated? When I think about that, then I come up with something that could be eliminated, automated, or delegated. So the simplification thing is huge. I had another client and she was working on her business and she says, "Well, you can't automate everything." And I said, "But what if you could automate everything?" And while she was in the mindset of, I can't automate everything, she couldn't find anything to automate. But as soon as she thought, but what if I could? What if I could automate everything? She came up with a list of several things she could automate. This is also why I want to emphasize that sometimes, or many times actually, what's keeping us from simplifying is our mindset. So we want to catch ourselves. Mindset is huge when it comes to creating to making it feel like the housework does stop, okay? It's our thought that the housework is never ending. It's our thought that there's always something that I should be doing that creates this feeling of then I can never relax. So we want to challenge that thinking by creating a new mindset. Okay, so the principle number one is you want to simplify by thinking eliminate, automate, or delegate. The second principle is you want to focus on progress over perfection. And the key to this is to put time limits on your tasks. Have you ever had the experience of starting to empty the dishwasher, then somebody interrupts you, then the doorbell rings, so you go answer that, and then you go take care of something in the bedroom, and then you get caught up in something else, and you come back to your kitchen 2 hours later, and there it is, the dishwasher still not emptied. And you think, "This takes forever." Most of our housework tasks, most of our tasks in life don't take forever. They just feel like they take forever because we are so interrupted in life. I just heard a statistics. I don't know if it's true or not, but it said that a 1 minute interruption can It can take your brain over 23 minutes to get back on task. This is why I think that the magical instrument in maintaining in minutes is by actually using a timer. So we say, hey, for the next 3 minutes, I'm going to empty the dishwasher. If I focus on it, I'll get it finished. If somebody comes in to interrupt you, say, wait just a second, let me finish this. This is also actually kind of a fun, I'm letting you in on a secret child training tip here. When your kids really insist on interrupting you while doing the work, just have them help you do the work until it gets done. They'll be way more cautious about interrupting you if they know that every time they're going to ask you a question, they're going to get assigned a task, like um, it'll make them start focusing on, wait, maybe I can figure this out on my own. So, anyway, that's just a freebie for you. Okay, so progress or perfection, time bound your tasks. When we put a timer on it, then we're teaching our brain this does not need to take forever. It shouldn't take forever. We're going to see if we can get it done in this short amount of time. The other thing is when we're focused on progress over perfection, we need to understand that some of our tasks, most of our tasks, do not need to be done perfectly. I used to think that cleaning the house meant cleaning everything, top to bottom, to perfection, which meant that I dreaded cleaning the house. Now I take a time bound attitude to it. So we're just going to see how much we can get done in 15 minutes. We're going to um, just clean the bathroom in 15 minutes. What we're doing is we're just making continual progress and keeping it clean instead of thinking, every time I say I clean the bathroom, I'm going to wipe out the light fixtures and scrub the grout and deep clean the shower and clean out the cabinets. No, we want to, like I said, make progress over time instead of thinking we need to do it perfectly now. As we do it frequently and often, it gets easier. So, time bound tasks give us focus and efficiency. And then by letting go of the perfectionism, we'll actually get more done faster. And then the progress is what keeps our home running smoothly, not the perfection. And then this leads into the third thing, which is that we want to then develop mini habits that lighten the load, little small, tiny little habits that keep the load manageable. So instead of deep cleaning the bathroom, we can just wipe down the sink every day before the hard water deposits build up. Instead of feeling like we need to clean out the car, we could just empty the car out every single time that we come in. Instead of have to clean up the living room, a major thing. As we walk in the door, we can make sure that we tell our kids to put their backpacks away in their room, instead of everybody dropping everything right there. Many habits, many habits. Instead of facing the Mount Rushmore of laundry, which is so daunting, so feels like it's so overwhelming, just do a load a day. Did you know that doing a load of laundry a day takes about 15 minutes from start to finish if we don't count the washer time and the dryer time? As in, it just takes about a minute to load the washer. It just takes about a minute to switch it over to the dryer. It only takes about 10 minutes to fold and 5 minutes to put away. Okay. Altogether, it really only takes about 15 minutes, which feels so much more doable than thinking that laundry takes an hour. Now, laundry cycle might take an hour. The actual hands-on time is just 15 minutes, which at least for me, makes me feel like, okay, I can commit to doing a load of laundry a day until I'm all caught up. And then I'll just do a load of laundry a day as needed. You guys, that was the game changer for me when it came to laundry, was realizing that and just committing to that. So the three principles again, and the point of these three principles is to keep us focused. Because if we're not focused, if we're distracted, and it's so easy to be distracted, especially in this category, then it does feel like it takes forever and ever. This is why this is why a housekeeper that you hire can get so much more clean than you can because she's not dealing with distractions like you are. She's not, as she cleans the kitchen, thinking, oh, I probably need to pay bills too. No, she's just cleaning the kitchen. She's not, as she's uh, doing the floors, getting interrupted by some other task. Nope, she's just staying focused. For a while, I did house cleaning to make money when my kids were really, really small. And that is when I learned, oh my goodness, my whole house could be cleaned in just this amount of time if I stayed focused. And so that is where I started to pay attention and develop these principles. And now I'm sharing them with you. So, as I'm going through this, what's coming up for you? Is it starting to feel a little bit easier, or does it feel like there's something that I haven't addressed yet? Make sure that you put any questions in the chat. I'll be glad to answer them during these lives. But these three principles: simplify, make progress over perfection, use a timer. Three, develop mini habits like mini little resets during the day. Do it sooner rather than waiting until it's overwhelming. These consistent habits will make the load feel light, and then we'll get to the point eventually. I got to the point eventually where I can maintain my whole house in just little light minutes a day. Now, this is a big key though. So these are the three principles, but we're going to have to be the ones that uses them in a way that suits our family, that suits our season of life. And the the big key is we're going to have to answer back to our brain when our brain is saying, you shouldn't relax because there is something else you can do. I'm going to be honest with you. I just gave you the three strategies, but it's the mindset of giving yourself permission to relax. Like, the house doesn't have to be perfectly clean. I have a plan. I can relax even though the laundry's not done because I'm planning on doing a load of laundry tomorrow. I don't have to deal with that now because I have a plan to look at my bills on Thursday. Working on our mindset, giving ourselves permission to kind of answer back to that little mean girl voice that's saying, you should be doing more. You should be doing more. There's always something to be done. You should be more productive. That's the hard work sometimes because we've spent decades being steeped in the idea that we should always be busy, always be productive, always be doing something. And it's created a really strong habit in our life that is interrupting our relax and rest time. And the problem with that is that if we don't learn how to rest and relax, we burn out and we become less efficient tomorrow. So we don't want to exhaust ourselves today to the point that we cannot recover enough tonight so that tomorrow we can bring the best of our time and attention. So this is why we want to train ourselves, train our mindset to realize that it doesn't all have to be done now, as long as we have a plan for getting it done. So I go way into this in my membership, Create a Home You Love. And we get very, very specific on your strategy and the things that you need and your, problem areas or the obstacles that you're facing. But these are the principles, and I wanted you to have the principles. And if you'd like help on the very, very specifics of your situation, then I believe I've put it in the description below. You can check that out, Create a Home That You Love, but a home that you love that looks the way you like it to look, that functions the way you like it to function, that feels the way you like it to feel, that only takes minutes a day to maintain so that it practically feels like it takes care of itself. If you'd like help, specific help in your areas where you're getting stuck, then I encourage you to look at the membership and see if that's a right fit for you. But these principles of simplifying by thinking about eliminating, automating, delegating, and then making us dropping the perfectionist mindset takes a while, and going with progress, because progress over perfection, it's better done than not even started. And then creating the mini habits that lighten our load. That is, those are the three principles. So, but in the membership, we take these principles and we turn them into simple, personalized action steps that work for your home, your life, your season of life. So that's where I can share more strategies, step by step support, and the accountability that you need to make it happen. So if you're tired of feeling stuck, then I'd love for you to join us over there. Um, the link should be in the comment, or the link should be in the description. But before we wrap up, I would like to hear from you. What was your aha moment? Or which of these principles, the simplify, time binding our tasks, time bounding, I think I'm making up a word here, but putting that time boundary or a task, or creating a simple mini habit, a little mini habit, which one resonates the most with you right now? Which one do you think would make a difference in your home so that it feels, instead of feeling like the housework never ends, it feels like, no, I show up to do the housework on my schedule because I own my time. This is also, I did a video about living life on your terms. And this is a key part of it, is this is how we get back to owning our time and managing our energy, is because instead of the housework happening to us, we're telling it when we're going to do it and how much we're going to do of it. And we're also saying why we're going to do it. Instead of it driving us, we're going to start telling it, no, 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 I don't have to be doing the housework at 7 p.m. at night. This is my relaxed time. All right. Remember, maintaining your home does not have to feel like a full-time job. It can be done in minutes by simplifying, by focusing, by building these tiny habits. You can create a home that takes care of itself, and then you can free up yourself to have so much more time, so much more energy, so much more attention to give to things that matter the most to you, whatever those things may be. And by the way, can I just put a plug in for, it doesn't always have to be work. I mean, I truly enjoy working on my business and building it. It feels like it's the best of like building a business and also a hobby. But it could be fun things. Like make time for knitting, make time for reading, make time for socializing, getting together with friends. You know, life is about so much more than work. Let's make sure that we're not just thinking that, the point of life is to work all the time. It's not. All right. And if this resonates with you, then don't forget to subscribe. I can't tell you how excited I get over every person who subscribes. I really appreciate you who have taken the time to subscribe, to like, to give a comment. It's very, very encouraging, when you're starting a new thing like a YouTube channel or something, to what every little one just make. I mean, they're not little, especially in the beginning, they are huge. So I just want to say thank you very much for taking your precious time to encourage me by subscribing, liking, or commenting. I'm very grateful for that. I truly am. And if you'd like to go deeper, don't forget about the membership. Oh, I almost forgot. I am doing a free workshop next week, From Chaos to Calm, How to Create the Home You Love. I am going to go into the 3 things that we must know to turn the chaos into calm. And I'm going to teach you my declutter fast method. This is the method that I use and my clients use to declutter any area in 15 minutes or less without overwhelm, without making a bigger mess than you had when you started, and without the regret that we sometimes plagues us, when we're thinking about getting rid of our stuff. I love this method because it's psychologically, it was developed with human psychology in mind so that it feels more pleasurable than painful. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you want to know about that, make sure you go to aprilbragg.com/workshop and sign up for that. It is a free workshop, and I'll explain all of that, and I'll answer any questions that you have about how to create a home you love. Okay, so any final questions before I end this today? I'll check the chat. But listen, remember, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. I truly believe there are better things to do than housework. I truly believe that it is so pleasurable to live in a house that is clean to our standards, that feels like us, that is decorated in our style. But I also don't believe that that's not where I want to give all my time to. And so the more that we can get focused, the more clarity we have, the more focus we have, then the more time freedom we'll create to do other things that are also important to us. All right. That's all I got for you today. Talk to you later. Bye bye.